Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of HiFi Mafia TV. It's Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. We are worldwide with you today. And I'm Giles, and we have three other esteemed panelists with us here today. First up, we got Dan with Base Therapy. Dan, how are you doing?
Just woke up, but now I'm just playing. I'm doing great. How you guys doing? It's been a while since we've seen each other and do a live. I missed you guys. How was Asia though?
We'll get to that all here pretty soon. Let me get through all these intros, and then we'll get to chit chatting. Next, we got Ray, the HiFi Turtle, the internet's only
and leading reptile adjacent hi-fi page.
That thing,
getting the audio file out of their shell.
Hey man, I'm launching a reptile related audiophile station soon, so stay tuned, man.
All right.
All right. And last but not least, we got Howard from The Listening Chair.
Welcome, Howard. Man. I'm just trying to. This is just a complete trying to figure out how to stream to the group, but it doesn't seem to be working. Facebook group, but what can I tell you? No.
I don't know. Anybody out there, let's send some positive thoughts Howard's way as he struggles through with this Facebook group. I see that I think it looks like Ray is got somebody. We got some stuff going. So you got your YouTube going. Your live looks like Howard on YouTube, and HiFi Turtle is live on YouTube, and Dan not live anywhere. What's up with that? Man, you got to pull your weight now. I'm live on X and Twitch and 3 YouTube channels and Facebook.
I got to put a message in my group, man.
Look at Larry's comment.
He is. We're gonna hack his YouTube channel and we're gonna just change it to the cameraman.
Man, I've been rebranded like Kendrick rebranded Drake.
The cameraman, TCM up in the house. Who started that? That was Focal, right? That's why you're branded Focal behind you right now.
I mean, Daniel kind of started. I mean, there was a lot of people. There were quite a few rooms. That was before Focal that were asking. They were like, Daniel would go up to him. They'd be like, "Oh, who are you with?" Because we came in together, and then they'd be like, "Oh, is that your cameraman?" Or, is he with you, or is that just your cameraman? Like, does he work for you, or is that just your cameraman? Like, that was kind of the thing the rooms were doing to us. Some of the rooms were doing to us. I'm like, no, I'm a wholly separate dude.
You're like, I'm
it's
my
funny
own thing.
Because I'm young. I thought they would think I was his cameraman.
Yeah, I know. They almost didn't give Daniel drinks at the bar because they thought he was too young. So,
Nah, bro.
We do know who that pretty face appeals to. Just go to his Instagram, check out the comments.
Oh yeah,
he's got a cult following.
Oh my gosh,
a cult following
in Russia.
All right,
that's true. Yeah,
let's get started with. Well, first off, we are taking all questions today, so we don't have a guest. So we are ready to bequeath upon you the collective wisdom of the ages, as understood by the illustrious HiFi Mafia. So we're ready to answer questions if you have any, and this can be anything from a hi-fi related question to the meaning of life. I mean, we got you covered. We have a wide breadth of knowledge here to help with, particularly around reptiles. So feel free to hit us up. There's a bunch of people watching. It looks like right now in the leader chair, in the leader spot, the listening chair has the most people from YouTube joining in with us to watch right now. So Howard, you're leading the charge right now for us.
It's the turtle excitement. It's the turtle announcement news that I'm creating this reptilian competitor. Yep,
that's right. He's going to be actually. I'm going to make a new channel. I'm going to call it what's the rat's name from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Splinter.
Yeah, I'm going to call it the HiFi Splinter. Your sensei. Your sensei of hi-fi. Oh, that would be awesome. But let's do a little round table. Dan, what's new for you? What's going on in your life? Working hard?
I just got always working at the restaurant and doing content is not easy, man. But We gotta make the dream come true. But I got the Jishali Labs J2S deck, and I
Yeah,
thought
that
it
was
was gonna
hot
sound
with your.
okay, but it sounds amazing. Like I never got so many goosebumps as right now, and I'm just impressed of how detailed that AK-4499 chip is. It's incredible,
The
and I
AK
gotta
chips are my favorite. I mean, they're all
they're
pretty
really
similar,
freaking
but
good
I like that one a lot.
That,
because
that
the
logo
sound
work they
claws.
did on.
Yeah, sorry, you can go.
I
Ray.
was gonna say the logo work they did on that case is pretty sweet. I was pretty jealous of that.
Yeah, and cherry and walnut. Looks so good, and it even has RGB. The problem with the RGB is like when you're listening at night, that thing's like a freaking Jesus light. It beams you in the eye, and you're like, stop. But during the day, it looks pretty good. But I love that deck. I'm probably not gonna switch it for a while, only if they come up with a new chip. But I'm thinking about getting a new preamp too, so I can run the turntable and the deck in two separate channels. So I can switch and I don't have to like unplug everything and plug back everything. And there's the new SVS gear that I don't know when it's showing up. What else? Yeah, that's everything mostly. And I still have like 50 videos left from Expona to edit, and that's fun.
Hey,
That's
having
everything for
content's
me,
a good
guys.
thing. It's good times. All right,
Yep.
Howard. Howard, what about you? What's new
Well,
over at the listening share?
we always got a lot of stuff going on. I've been spending a lot of time out at that new house and working on the property and trying to get everything up to par and in shape. So that's been kind of therapeutic. But on the audio end, we do got a lot going on, like always. We posted the VPI Prime unboxing, and we now have the setup. And the third video that Colin Saunders is doing for us is the going to be the actual review. Kemper Holt from the listening share just reviewed Verify Audio's VBH footers, which we found to be very good for like $200 for the set. I'm about to do. I just got in Audio Group Denmark's Forte one box streaming amplifier, so that should be pretty killer. And I got the C1s on their way. The speakers coming, so that'll be really cool. Also, I also got in the Isotech V5 Electra power conditioner, which kind of stunned me. It was really good. And I actually did a little article and a photo shoot for Copper Magazine, which will be coming out in a couple of days for that. So that'll be cool. We also have, my room. We have the new. Maybe next time I'll just get our new set of plans out, and we're finalizing the construction plans that we have to submit to the town for a permit for the room. There's a whole debate whether we actually need a permit or not, but I don't want to go halfway through and get to an issue with the town, so we're going to file for a permit. And I got a major announcement coming out that because I don't have enough to do, I'll be writing for one of the big print publications doing reviews. So as always, we got a lot going on.
Awesome, cool. Busy is good. Better than not being busy.
Oh yeah.
And Ray, what's up in Ray world?
Ray doing a lot. Some more behind the scenes work. Some reviews are still on the way. The Dyn Audio review, which I will eventually have actually Dyn Audio come out and kind of double check my setup. So there's probably going to be a part 2 because that's going to be probably a few months before they can do that. So the review will come first, and then we'll kind of have like a part 2 where it's like, Dyn Audio's expertise spin on it. Did it improve? What was missing before, if anything? Because maybe John will come out and be like, wow, you really set these up really well. Maybe you're talking about or something like that, but some behind the scenes stuff, like trying to work out some stuff.
Something. They'll find something. That's why they get paid.
I know. But some behind the scenes work, some video editing, some paid video editing, some paid photo shoot stuff for HiFi. So that stuff will be coming out eventually as well, or that's kind of still in the works. It hasn't actually quite happened yet, but some cool stuff there.
Nice.
Very
awesome.
Cool. Oh, and also don't forget about the Facebook group, Listening Share with Howard Nella. We're up to about almost 12.1 thousand people, and we're growing. So check in with the Facebook group.
That's nice.
By the way, Larry commented, I thought HiFi Turtle was cameraman. You didn't think,
we
you know.
We commented. We were looking at that like like 10 minutes ago.
Dan's all like,
Wow.
I'm not really paying attention to what's going
Yeah.
on.
I'm trying, I was trying to connect Instagram to live there, but I can't. It's not sending my security code, bro. I'm so annoyed.
Oh, nice. See, you guys are gonna make me start my Instagram up now. All right, here. I'm gonna go do it right now before I do my fill-in. So here, let's all do it together. So go to Instagram. All right.
I can't get it connected to this, bro.
So open up your
Instagram, bro.
Instagram. You have your Instagram open, and then I always right-click on that tab and I mute the site just so when I have it playing in another window, it doesn't make noise. And then you click on that plus sign by create, and then live video, and then you add a title, and I name it HiFi Mafia. All right,
You can
and then
get Instagram as an app. What the heck?
no, just open it up in a web browser. Then on the audience, you pick public and you click next, and then it shows all your stuff, right? And it says stream key. You click copy. Then you come back over to the StreamYard and you click on the whatever you click on to add stuff. Oops, I don't need to do that. It's your live comment. Sorry.
Dude, you're doing so fast, man.
Yeah, edit, and then I'm going to click on plus, and then I'm going to go to Instagram live, and then oh gosh, no, that's not what I want to do. I don't know. It's not as easy as it looks, everybody. There we go. Instagram, and then you put in your stream key, and you pay. Everybody's following along like this is so stupid.
Let's talk audio, man.
Yeah, let's talk audio. Anyway, so and then it should start. But so I'm just back from yeah, Giles dropping the tech wisdom. I'm just back from Malaysia. I was out there to cover the Northern International AV show in Penang, Malaysia, which was cool. It was a smaller show. They had 2 floors, not super big, but a lot of entertainment. They had concerts all day long. They had talks all day long. They had concerts at nighttime, and I mean like big stage concerts with lights and the whole deal. Is just, I mean, it was crazy. They had this big party with food and open bar, and just it was pretty ridiculous from that point of view. A lot of good folks. I created my first nature documentary video, so you can see that on my Instagram. In the thumbnail for it is the picture of a monkey's butthole. So if you guys haven't seen,
why'd you do that?
Because it's a beautiful piece of artwork.
Okay.
That video is absolutely a wonderful classic. I even used my documentary voice in it. It was really good. Yeah, it was Randy and me and the Australian gentleman that I can never remember his channel name. Perfect Audio AU.
Oh,
audio. He's the headphone guy. Lachlan, and I can't think of.
I have 44 viewers on Instagram. I beat the listen.
I can't. Oh man, Perfect
I know who
Audio
you're talking
AU.
about.
Well, I would if I was on Instagram. I can't link to Instagram. I don't know what's going on here. It's a freaking
Craziness. But anyway, outside of that, that show is come and gone, and I've got the highlights reel up for the show, and I'm going to do a travel video for the show, and then a couple of hotel reviews and stuff on the travel channel, that kind of thing coming up. Later today, I'm going to unbox the new Hisense U8N mini LED television, which is going to be baller. That thing is just spectacular. That's the top of the line from their normal consumer line. They have a U9 that's like extravagantly expensive that they were showing at CES, but it's not available yet. So for the time being, this is their top of the line. So I'm really excited to get that out, and a bunch of other review stuff that I got to get to. And then Ray, I'm slogging through some paid editing stuff too, and it's like a billion video. It's a lot. It's a lot. So that's going on. And then I have my day job and the family and everything else. And I got to take my son out and let him practice driving a little while today. So that's always horrifically scary as he learns to drive with his learner's permit. But yeah, always staying busy. And now it's time for HiFi news.
One thing real quick, if I could. So if I'm on Microsoft browser right now and I have a page open on Chrome, can I show that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
just
can still
all
share
you
it.
do is click on present and then find whatever you want to present
Share
and click on
screen or slides? Share screen?
share screen, and then it'll let you pick a screen or pick an app or pick a whatever. So it'll
Okay.
have all the options in there.
Okay, got it. It's not letting me, like, just let me select the tab to share. No, window.
Yeah,
No.
tab is just it's gonna be a Chrome browser tab.
Oh, okay. So then if I just bring this up then, hold on a second. Let's see if we can do this. Can you guys see that?
You're not sharing anything yet.
No. Share. Yeah.
Not yet.
Well, I had we got a prototype model of the listening share website. I wanted to kind of share, but we'll try that next time.
Right, you can keep messing around with it, see if you can figure out. So, who's got news?
There's a lot of news coming out for the Munich preview, the Munich high-end show. That's next weekend. Well, actually, I guess it's in 4 days because it starts on Thursday officially, right? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
The 9th. It starts on the 9th, whenever that is.
Starts on the 9th,
It's
right?
basically,
Yeah.
if you have a product to announce, this is where you do it.
Yeah, there's so many product announcements. There's so many like big products that were announced that are going to be at Munich. If they weren't at Expona, they're going to be at Munich. Dyne Audio just released 4 different models, which I thought was a really curious introduction. They have a new Confidence, a Confidence 20A, which carries over active technology from their professional series. So it is still a ad source or ad streaming model, but it incorporates their active components into the Confidence series, but just for the Confidence 20, so the bookshelf floors stand mount speaker.
Nice.
And then they have a black edition of the Contour 20i, which gets upgrades to the crossover, some upgrades to the Spider, some cabinetry upgrades. Only comes in black, as the name suggests. Also has the full-on Estatar 3 tweeter, which is unbelievable because I have that in the Confidence, and it's one of the best tweeters I've ever heard. Regarding of any price. So to bring that down to the Contour series is pretty incredible. They've got another heritage series, or kind of looks like a heritage series. They're calling it something else. I think it's Dyne Audio Legacy, I want to say. I can't remember the entire name.
Yeah, they can't call it heritage because that's Klipsch.
Yeah, well, no, they do have a heritage though. They have the Heritage Special, which was the bookshelf that came out a couple of years ago. But now it's basically the same kind of look, but in a floor stander. It looks like it's a 2.5 way. Not 100% sure on all the details on that one, but it's a cool looking speaker. And they've got a collaboration with a Japanese company where they're doing a stand mount speaker with some Japanese like design firm. So not a whole ton of details, but really interesting stuff coming out of them.
I got a rule, and the rule is if Ray can't remember it, it does not exist.
It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to the world.
Irrelevant or doesn't exist. One of the two.
It was a lot of stuff, but it's kind of interesting to see them release so many different models across so many different ranges at the same time.
Isn't Borson releasing a more budget line as well, like called Axis or something like that?
Well, the Axis models were their like budget electronics. So like they had the AVIC electronics, which was their like more high-end offerings to be paired up with their Borson speakers. And they had the Axis speakers, which electronics, which for a long time have been suggested for their X series because they're more budget friendly. But now they're actually releasing a Axis series of speakers as well, which is really interesting.
That's what I have in. I have the Forte one box streamer. It's a $5,000 product. I have not unboxed that yet. And then the speakers are coming in. The C1s.
No, it's not the C1s. C1s are expensive. They're 16 grand.
C1s are 16 and a half.
Yeah. The X1
the Axis, I don't remember the naming convention, but the bookshelf I think is 1,500, and the floor stander I think is 3,000, maybe 4,000, something like that. It's relatively cheap for a Borson made product, but it's very similar looking, but at the same time I would say it's very different looking than
Yeah,
the
it has a
regular
different
Morrison
faceplate.
models. Yeah, the faceplate the baffle kind of comes off of the actual like.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the Confident series. A little bit.
All right, so folks that are just joining, we're doing the HiFi news for the week right now, and then we'll get into general Q&A of anything people want to ask about. We don't have a guest this week, other than the four of us, and we should be enough for you.
I really think we should, and we really should do one movie or music review each stream, just very quickly. Like someone picks a movie that they like or a series or something like that.
So we can totally do that. After the news, we can pick something and talk about it. I watch a ton of stuff all the time, so I always have good content to stuff to talk about. Now, Larry says he's happy to see Ohm speakers springing back to life. I'm not familiar with what the news is there on that one. I
haven't seen the announcement for Ohm, but I mean, I'm familiar with Ohm speakers, Ohm Walsh speakers. They're kind of the original omnidirectional speaker. So it's interesting to see them revitalize if that's what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just ready here for a second. So I'm about to share this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So that is basically what the website is going to look like, something like that. Although you're only going to see a small part of each one as you go through some of the pages. So anyway. Just wanted to share that and say stay tuned, man, because it's going to be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right, and then from my news stuff, the two items that have kind of hit my my radar. So first, for Weem, at I was going to say Expona at Munich High End, they're going to be releasing the Weem Ultra, which is the next version of their streamer that also has a LCD on the front. So, it'll be competing with the Eversolo stuff and maybe the HiFi Rose and I think Cambridge and all that kind of stuff, right? So they're moving up to a bit more fancy style streamer that will look nicer, right? The other ones are great streamers, but you kind of just stick the box behind something, right? Nobody ever sees anything. This is a piece of gear that you can kind of put more front and center in your shelving unit to let people see what's going on and have some pretty graphics. They're also going to release the pro version of the Weem amp. Now, from what I understand, the power will be the same, but all we have are teasers right now, so that we don't have specs or anything for them until release date on what is it? When is Munich? Next weekend?
9th. No,
The
the 9th. It starts the 9th. Yeah.
The 9th. So until the 9th, we won't have all the details available, but that stuff is coming. Then on TV, the TV side of the house, Hisense is releasing their new Canvas television, which is going to compete with the Samsung Frame and other art style TVs, meaning that when the TV's turned off, it's displaying a piece of static artwork, and then you hit the button, it turns on, and you can use it as a television. So their version is going to be called the Canvas, and I think there's some more Hisense stuff, but I think that's all that's coming up for me right now. So those are my two companies that kind of hit my radar with new stuff that's pretty exciting to me. What else you got, folks?
Got a couple of things here, but Charles, I'm looking for a you might be good at this. I'm looking for a multi-zone integrated amplifier to power some indoor and outdoors, 2 zones outdoors and 1 zone indoors. Do you know anything?
Sonos.
No, I don't want to.
Well, Sonos is probably the leader in the space. So but if you're wanting to go like old school traditional, like a single unit and you run wires everywhere, you could look like Rust Sound does that. Rust Sound. They've been doing it forever and ever and ever. Your boys do it, Dan. True Audio. They've got really good versions. Yep. True Audio
right here.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, you've got the shirt on. Yeah. I would probably look at True Audio first. If you don't want to do Sonos or any of the other styles like that. And then you could buy like a bunch of Weem amps and use Rune server and do
No,
the
I could
same
do
thing.
that, or I could do like a couple of node Blue Sound node power
Yep.
nodes or something like that. But
Yep, those are all
like
good
a
options.
one-box solution.
Yeah,
True Audio has their bigger boys, and those doesn't connect wirelessly. You need a cable connection to that, but they have like 10 channel, 20 channel streamers.
Yeah.
That is
that
insane.
honestly, that's who I would go for that style.
All right, cool.
As a first look.
And they're really good too.
Yeah, and they make great gear. I mean, True Audio, they have a bunch of different brands. They got a cabling brand and cabinetry, and they got a networking brand, and they do Wi-Fi access points. They do the streaming amplifiers and all that stuff. So
indoors, outdoor speakers.
Yeah,
I've been using their Vessel A1X streamer for like 2 years now, and that thing never gave me a problem.
Yeah, they're very solid, and the people over there are really nice too. So, they probably hook you up with industry pricing or something like that if you talked about it a little bit too.
Well, if I tell them I know Dan, they'll charge me a little bit extra. So
they'd probably send you 3 or 4 units for free if you're like, I know Dan, but they'll be like,
everything I got was free.
But do you know the cameraman though? And you get all kinds of
you get 20%.
I need a couple of things were on my radar, but let me see if I could. So let's see. Let's share entire screen, and let's go back now. Can you guys see a picture of an amplifier there?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you.
TAD.
TAD, yeah. So basically, TAD is introducing their reference 6700 preamplifier to replace the C600. Anybody want to take a guess as to? You can see here they make their own conversion chips. Anybody want to guess a price on that?
$27,000.
Come on, that's like TAD prices from like 12 years ago.
$75,000.
68.5. You gotta have serious coin. If you're doing TAD, you really need to have serious coin, man. So yeah.
Someone said MSB just announced a new DAC.
Cascade DAC.
That's probably gonna be.
That
like
sounds awesome.
150 grand.
No, it says it's higher performing than the Select 2 for a lower price.
Oh,
so
then
Select
80 grand.
Select 2 is around like 25, 26 maybe, I'm thinking.
97.
Okay, that's a lot more. Never mind. I'm thinking about something else.
MSB's crazy pricing, right? It's like
but they have all up and down the line, they have their entry level DAC is like like 20 or 15, something like that. Line. But it's all through the line. I mean, they got the stuff that's all the way up to.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing about
like,
this thing that we're in, right? So I mean, there are components for every budget out there, right? I mean, we can talk about $25 DACs and we can talk about $95,000 DACs, right? So there's and the one thing that I'll also say is that you can find pretty good gear up and down the price range. I mean, you can put a budget system that sounds pretty good. You totally do it.
The new streamer that we're excited about. I wouldn't buy their amplifier because the amplifier is garbage, but their streamer is amazing. If you get the streamer, a preamp, and a pretty powerful amplifier, you're set.
Which one is that, Dan, that you talked about?
The one that you just talked about, the new release. The Whim. Their amp is not good. Like nobody's talking about it, but the streamer, that's the golden point.
I'm using their amp right now. It is fine.
I would get the SVS. That one is 150 watts.
I like the SVS.
If you're pushing towers with that, I don't know if
most people use 3 watts when they push a tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that all depends on how.
Even if it's 85 decibel sensitivity, 1 watt gets you 85 decibels at a meter. Right?
He asked, how can any HiFi component cost as much as a supercar? Well, it's labor. They don't make as many units. They use rare materials. Like, if you look at Boulder, they're using like 100 pounds of CNC aluminum. Everything is built in-house. That's where the price comes from,
Yeah, and there's smaller things that cost. There's smaller things that cost more than that. How can a diamond ring cost $50,000? How can a Rolex watch cost $40,000? How can, I don't know, a pill that cures or treats your eczema costs $40,000?
Well, I do think you have to be careful.
Blind demand.
You have to be careful at that level. I think there are companies that have products that have significant cost of goods sold where you're actually getting something for your money. And there are other companies where it's just a price. It's just a price they're putting on it, you know. And so, you know, any of the big audio companies, you can get a good product from. It's like when you buy a car these days, you can get a pretty good car no matter who you buy it from. And if you buy a stereo system from, you know, Macintosh or any of the big companies, you're going to get a pretty decent product. But when you're at that level, you do got to be careful because you could get it.
Yeah,
and because there's the
Caveat
dealer
emptor.
pricing too, right? Because there's the pricing that dealers are paying, there's the pricing that the consumer are paying. So I think if there was no dealers and every company starts selling direct, prices would go down. But that's not how this works, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like what's that vacuum cleaner company that used to go around to people's homes to sell their like $10,000 vacuum cleaner? And it was, you know,
I think they came into my house,
and they they would only they only have salespeople that would go around because, you know, they had to put the hard sale on, right? They had to bring it into your home and demonstrate it and try and show it to you because they couldn't sell it any other way, right? It's just cost too much. People were like, no. You know, some audio is like that. So I agree with Howard to a large extent. You know, look for the value, look for what's legit to you, but you know,
10 shows, just listen to it.
Yeah,
if you have an emotional connection, buy it. If you don't,
yeah, you can't hate on a company for having an expensive product. You just, I mean, I don't hate on companies because, you know, a Bentley costs a lot of money and it's just a car. It gets you from A to Z. You can do it with a $15,000 Honda, but you know, if you want
15,000, where are you buying that? At least 25 nowadays.
Sure, yeah,
Hondas are expensive as hell, man.
We just bought another Miele. And I would never buy any other vacuum. I mean, it makes the Dyson look like a freaking toy. That's the vacuum cleaner to get.
Yeah, Dyson vacuum is really expensive. My mom bought one. It's like $600. I'm like, what the heck?
This was much more money. This was much more money than that. And you know, the Dysons are like, that's like Bose. You know what I mean? Dysons are like Bose, man. And it's just like, you want to go real, you go into Miele. Anyway, that's vacuum cleaners. So
yeah, so I know the Auric brand, but that's not the one that I'm thinking of. I'll try and figure out which one it was, but it was just door-to-door salespeople that would do it, and I don't remember the brand name. I'm not gonna. Was it Kirby?
Doesn't ring a bell.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Anyway, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so one thing I will say, you know, like if you look at dealer pricing versus, you know, street pricing, you know, dealers have expenses too, right? They got a showroom, they got to deal with the returns, they got to have salespeople, they got to have electricity, they got to
install it in your house. If you're buying like the $1 million products, they go to your house, they build it, no extra charge. You know, they fly there.
That's a very expensive proposition. You know, like even today, I had someone that was commenting like, "Oh, I could build these speakers for $3,000." I said, "Do it," but it's going to cost you $3,000 to ship them.
Yeah.
So another thing I was keeping an eye on. Let me see if I could get this. Let's see.
And you guys were busting kneecaps. What do you mean by that?
For SWAT, you know, the mafia, if somebody crosses us, you're gonna break their kneecaps.
Yeah, you break their kneecaps.
That's what you do when you're in the mafia. What's up, SWAT?
Yeah. Look at these guns. We're gonna
let's see, let me go here. You guys see Macintosh there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So a couple of things from Macintosh. They're going to be showing with their sister company with the Sinus Faber for their $750,000 Suprema speaker with the MC 2.15 kW, which is a 2,000 watt monoblock. And I guess, let's see. So then, let's see if we could. And then there's the Suprema speaker there. It's a beautiful speaker.
That's what they had at CES, right?
Yeah, that was the debut at CES.
Yeah,
I wish they had an Exponent, man.
I did an article on that at the House of Macintosh. And also, they have some announcement out that there's going to be a new product dropping. It's embargoed to the May 9th, which is the first day of the show. So no one's allowed to share that. But there will be a new product from Sinus Faber coming out.
That's cool.
That's going to be exciting. I could take a stab at what it's going to I don't know anything about it. Yeah, obviously it's going to be a speaker. I don't know anything about it. But
it's going to be a speaker, y'all.
Oh, man, we just blew the embargo.
I gotta assume it's a replacement to the Sonetto series. That's what I would bet my money on.
Ray's not getting any more Sonos Fiber speakers.
Yeah, I didn't get any press release or embargo or email or
Yeah,
anything like
same.
that, but it just makes sense. It's the oldest speaker in their line that's not the reference series. And I think that speaker honestly is not very competitive in the price range anymore. So it just makes sense to replace it.
By the way, if Ray disappears, he's not suicidal, right? But wait, I think Conman said I heard some buyers of uber expensive hi-fi don't use it. It's just a piece opposed to have it in their houses. Yeah, that's why they make it so beautiful too. Like Astalon, I would have Astalons just to look at. You know, they're beautiful. Especially,
I mean, there's some people that do that, but it's
part of the problem. A lot of these
them.
companies do spend a lot to make their speakers, but part of the problem is that there are so many speaker companies out there that nobody is getting really able to produce in small runs. You can't really get good pricing on materials, so that's why a lot of speakers are so expensive.
Yeah, just like that guy said, try to build an Astalon Diamond series speakers for $3,000. The tweeters are over 6,000. Yes, the tweeters are $6,000, and people are like, I can build it for 3,000. You don't even know what materials they're using on those cabinets, and you don't have the machinery to make those cabinets. Like, shut up! I'm tired of hearing this. You're not no genius, or else you wouldn't be with 20 followers on Instagram and no face on your profile. Nobody knows who you are.
Man, Dan, let us
Dan's unloaded.
Dan's
about to drop the Kendrick Lamar freestyle on Instagram viewers.
It's like the people with no influence talks the most crap. You know, it's like, shut up. No one cares about your opinion.
All right.
Once you have your face publicly, like we do, with over 180,000 followers, and like when your opinion is like you have to think about it before you say something, then you come at me. Well,
all right. One more thing here.
We don't care.
One more thing here. Let's see what we can get this going here. Entire screen, hit it. And we have from Luxman. There we go.
Luxman. Oh, the new what is it called?
Streamer.
Posted about it.
That is correct.
No.
It is the NTO7.
Isn't it media transfer?
The first network transport.
Yeah, network transport.
Yeah.
And so what do they mean by network transport? Is a file player?
Yeah, a file player. I guess a streamer and a file player.
Yeah, a streamer.
Okay, so it's a streamer. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. Anybody want to? Let's give a little. Let's play the game again. Anybody want to guess on? Let's see. Let's go in the back here. So
I know
it doesn't have an output stage at all.
There you go. So there's a storage connector here for a USB.
That's $7,500 for that.
How much?
$7,500.
Oh, we were guessing.
I already have a post for it.
We were guessing. If you knew, you shouldn't have said anything.
You ruined it for us. I was going to guess 7,300. So
5,000.
Hey, can you pull that back up, Howard? The back of it. I want to point out some stuff to folks there. So, the one thing that's important here, if you look at this is digital only. There is no analog output on this thing at all, right? So you've got digital out, network, USB stuff, HDMI, in and out.
By the way, so I would go Borison for metal listening.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think about that because I haven't heard any like metal on Borison. It's usually a lot of electronic music, and things of that nature.
That tweeter is great though. Like
I gotta imagine it's got to sound pretty good. I mean,
yeah. So Larry, it says okay. So I2S uses the HDMI cable, but they never call it HDMI because the devices don't carry the HDMI signal. It's actually just the digital audio over I2S or IS2. I2S, IS2. I don't know.
I2S.
I2S. Okay. So that device specifically called out HDMI. When it calls out HDMI specifically, usually that's what they mean, right? Like you'd plug that into an AVR or something. So maybe not, but I would not guess that it was I2S. I2S.
You're almost there.
Yeah, Swat was close. He was within a few percentage points there. And then Coneman says, I have a theory that the structure of a system is more important than the quality of individual components. I mean, things like active amplification, biamping, separate power supplies, power condition, etc. Yeah, it's all additive, right? And the concept of the whole being more than the sum of the parts is true to a large extent as well, right?
There's
Well,
even people that
the way to get
say like power conditioning is not important too. So it's like everybody has their own opinion on what makes a difference and what doesn't. I think having higher end capacitors and components on my amplifier, I think it could improve sound, but who am I, you know?
Well,
well,
I think it's
Don't
more of
come
a,
at me until you have a million subscribers, Dan. Don't come at me with your opinion.
it's the recipe, you know,
Preaching
like
jazz,
that's
bro.
the big thing. I feel like that's one of the things that, like, you know, I post something and these crossover perverts, that's what I call them, the crossover perverts. They come on and they say, oh, Sandcast resistor, oh, this must sound terrible.
Oh yeah.
Iron core inductor, this must
Yes,
sound
that one.
terrible.
I heard
All
so
this-
many times.
all these things, and it's like, you're not part of the process. You don't understand what the designer is trying to do. Do you think the designer for, you know, Dyne Audio, for Focal, for, you know, all these, for T plus A, for all these companies are just like stupid, or are just like trying to ruse you, or what? Like, if you think that they're trying to ruse you, don't buy the product. It's clear and simple. But the reality is that, you know, this is ingredients in a recipe, essentially. So they're putting together something. They're seeing a lot of data, a lot of simulations, a lot of modeling, a lot of real world testing that you are just not seeing. So if you just look at a board and you're saying, oh, it has it without any measurement, analysis, simulation, anything, and just saying it can't sound good because it has a Sandcast resistor.
or listening.
Yeah, or
No,
listening.
and most of the times they don't even set up their speakers properly. They put their speakers against the wall on top of a vinyl shelf with a bunch of vinyls. Like, bro, you don't even know how to set up your speakers.
It blows my mind, and it's just weird to me that they're so prolific about it, that they're still willing, though. That's the thing. They're still willing to buy the speaker with the crappy crossover. They're just going to upgrade the crossover with another $600 in parts on a $300 speaker and say that, okay, now it will sound good.
Freaking people.
But on the other side of the coin, a great way to get mediocre sound is to buy some super expensive components and just throw them into a system.
Yeah, just slap them all in. Yeah,
it's
people. It's the same people that would buy a $30 Wagyu burger and skirt the $8 regular burger at the same restaurant.
Wait, they would do
That's a
what
good
with the
point.
regular burger?
What
Skirt
are
it.
they doing to a burger? They're skirting it. What is
Skirt it, yeah.
What are they skirting?
Just
What is
like
skirt?
eat it.
Like, yeah, they're like, you know,
Like
snack it to the side.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Never
They're
heard-
all
yeah,
like,
yeah.
screw this regular burger. I gotta have my
Yeah,
Wagyu.
exactly. But it's the
All
same restaurant. It's the same seasoning, the same chef. But just because it has Wagyu on it, they're gonna shell out the $30 and think that
They'll
they're
probably put
just
the
so
same
high and
ketchup
mighty
on it, right?
above.
They'll probably put the same ketchup on all of it.
Exactly,
It's gonna be the
exactly.
same.
All right, we have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
from
let's
people. Yeah.
here's a good one we could argue about. Do components above a certain price vary much?
I'm
So
gonna say
if-
my opinion. I have opinion on this. Really
okay,
strong opinion.
let's hear it.
I feel
Strong.
like above $20,000, like anything up to a $20,000, you're gonna hear a really big difference. Anything above $20,000 is like 1 to 5% increase. But I feel like once you're at that level, you're buying it because you prefer the sound quality over the sound improvement. No, wait, the sound tone, the tone of the gear over sound improvement, you know? So like I would buy, let's say, Boulder because it's 150 grand, but I would buy Boulder because I like how it sounds over than, oh, it's Boulder better than Griffin or something like that, you know? Because at this point, everything is just so good that I don't think you're gonna hear a difference in quality, but in tone of the gear, you know? I don't know, that's me.
Apparently we're not doing very well because somebody wants to sell us some viewers.
Awesome. See if they have an affiliate link.
Yeah, that's right. They need an affiliate link. I think that at any price point you can have fairly widely varying quality of sound, right? And differing of sound, right? Hopefully, you know, as you get more expensive, it's going to be really good no matter what. But I think that's probably debatable too. But you know, speakers, man, you can look at some $100,000 speakers and they will sound really different, right? I mean, speakers are obvious. I mean, it's easy to are, it's easy to hear the difference between speakers. Other components can be very difficult, and you can get to like DACs and like a CD transport or something. It's, so, it's impossible for some folks, and it's very minor, but speakers, easy, right? Super different in sound. And, you can get super expensive speakers, and man, brand X versus brand Y, really different sound signature. So, I don't know. That happens at every price point. Okay.
I want to see Ray's opinion on that.
I mean,
What
I
do you
think
Ray?
I mean, there's definitely differences. I would agree with Giles that, in the analog domain, especially in like speakers and amplifiers, the differences are easier to detect for the most part, preamplifiers as well. Obviously you're going to get very different sound from a tube amplifier and a solid state amplifier, typically. Just different design philosophies, different voicing, different ears for the people at each company. Like it's different. How much different is it? I don't know. Is there a point where it doesn't get better, it just gets different? I would say probably. And I would say the speaker, there's speakers that, and the amplifiers and all that, once they hit a certain price point from the same company, are they any better than the previous product or the product that is under them? I would say no, but they serve a different purpose or cater to a very specific purpose, like the ultra large rooms or the integration with some of their other things, like their, Pinnacles series of subwoofers or whatnot that you could not match with, their lower level designs. So I wouldn't say that it's better at a certain price point. It's just a little different or serves a different purpose.
For me,
you might have to pay more to serve that purpose.
I mean, for me, it's like, I don't know, it's really a question that has no answer in some ways. It's like, it's a question of value and what's, how much is it worth for you to get a change? And a lot of people listen to gear and they say, oh, it's not really this more expensive amp. It's not really better. And they're listening in a crappy room that masks the changes. Listening with crappy equipment, and they can't even tell. They wouldn't be able to tell changes if there were going to be a change. But, it's just a question of value, and everyone has different value. If it was, really like for a lot of people, they're not going to spend more than $500 on a stereo. Done. It's not worth it, So it's everybody puts a different assignment of value on a product, on an audio product.
Yep. Okay. Here's another one. So these comments kind of go in the same vein. So I'm a believer in mains purifiers. So
I
it's
haven't
like
tried those yet.
consistent sound in my system, no
really
matter
have
what
a
time of day. And then Coleman says power conditioning definitely can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So I'll start out and say one thing that I know for certain, for sure. I know that dirty power can have a significantly negative impact on all kinds of stuff. So if you've got a lot of noise coming in over your electrical lines, it can really cause havoc and just, I mean, it's not like it's more extreme than, oh, my, speakers don't sound as good as I think they can. I mean, it goes all the way to why is there a loud 60 hertz buzz and everything, right? So, bad power is very obvious when you got really, really bad power. So being able to clean that up, I think is a fairly big deal, in particularly in that kind of situation. And I don't know what they have
I think there's a myth, though. I think there's a myth about power that goes on. People are like, oh, I don't need a power conditioner because I don't live in a building with a lot of different people and I'm out, I'm near the pole or whatever. But it's not the way electricity works from the way I've experienced things. Basically, as power travels, it degrades and it constantly has to be refreshed or conditioned. So, in other words, like if you have a power conditioner and it's not regenerating, but it's improving the power, the AC power, then at that point it should be all good. And then if you put another nice power cord down on your digital, on your amplifier or your digital source or whatever, it shouldn't make a difference because you've already cleaned up the power at the power conditioner, but it does make a difference. So, I mean, power constantly degrades as it moves through a system, and that has to be addressed. And that's the way I felt. After making, many power cords and, DIY power conditioners and reviewing tons of product, that's the way I find that it works.
I'll be trying one soon, so I'll let you guys know if I hear a difference or not. A really expensive one too. I won't say the brand, but yeah.
All right. I have power conditioners. I've used power conditioners more from the standpoint of just like protecting my gear, to be honest. I used to plug my amplifier into the power conditioner. I would say that it was probably one of the biggest early mistakes I made in hi-fi is plugging power amplifier into a power conditioner, because that will make a huge difference in your sound. And maybe it does sound better if you plug it into the power conditioner. Try it out, try it from the wall, try it from the power conditioner. I thought plugging into the wall was much cleaner, much more transparent,
Back in the
clarity,
day,
resolution.
Back in the day, there was chokes and all kinds of stuff. Modern power conditioners, you're always a good one. You're almost always better plugging it into the power conditioner than the wall.
Yeah.
In the 90s, you got really current restriction if you plugged something into a power conditioner, but that's those days are gone. So,
but
All right.
I do think that the transformers in the electronics are more important than power conditioning, and a good transformer in a product will almost eliminate the need for power conditioning.
that I don't agree with at all. I've never found a product that doesn't benefit from a good power conditioner. The guys who design the amplifiers like to tell you, "Oh, you don't need a power conditioner. Our power supplies are so good," and but I've just in experience, I've never found that to be true.
Yeah, everybody has their experiences and beliefs, so I don't know.
Yep.
I really find it something different. I believe in both of you guys. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
All right. Here's another topic.
Next question. Yeah.
Can we discuss staying in HiFi purgatory, like not moving out of the SMSL topping world? Is ignorance truly bliss? Well, my first comment, which I'll throw this grenade out, and then everybody else can trounce on it. But there are some pretty darn good SMSL and topping DACs out there that are super transparent. You can, for $100, $120, you can get a dang good DAC from those folks. It's super transparent.
Or $400, you can get a nice DAC.
Yeah. So
they go up to like $1,500. Those are like baller as well. They
I think that stuff's really good. I don't know. So there's my hand grenade. I think that both those brands make really good DACs. I got the Matrix DAC in here, the Matrix Element DAC, and it's HiFi. It's not cheap. It's like $2,000, and it's a half chassis. You put it in a full chassis, and you can triple the price, and nobody would be the wiser. It's killer.
Mm-hmm. What are those designs that they have separate decks, like 2S, 2 something like that? I think Topping does that as well on their.
Are you talking about like the R to R ladder resistor DACs?
Yeah, that.
I don't think Topping does those, but SMSL does.
Yes.
Yeah, SMSL does with their very high end side of the house. They do some ladder resistors. I don't think Topping does. Topping, their stuff's good. The SMSL and Topping stuff is both really good for the price. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's kind of weird that they always just release. They're playing both sides of the house in some of their marketing and sales tactics, where they're like, "Oh, this DACs don't sound any different. We have made this DAC and it sounds like any other DAC, and it's clean, and it measures incredibly well, all yada yada yada." And then in 6 months they'll release another one and say, "Oh, here's our new DAC that measures better than this DAC, even though it is it's inaudible, the difference from this previous one, but you should buy this one because it does measure better than this previous one." So it's kind of, they're playing both sides of the house, and it's kind of strange to me on that side, where it's like, why would I buy a D70 generation 3 when I can just buy the original D70, and the difference according to you and all the measurement people is inaudible.
All right.
A lot of the the measurements from a DAC performance point of view, they all, the people are arguing about stuff that truly is inaudible, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't get the thing against China, because they built everything. They built iPhone.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is I think this word HiFi is a dirty word. It's like a dirty word to just devalue essentially this cheaper stuff for the most part. Yeah. I feel like it's like, oh, it's not HiFi, it's Chi-Fi, right? Where it's like, but at the same time, the world, it's a global world. I hate to break it to you, but your German design amps and your American made amps and your American made speakers and all these other places are getting components from China, from Taiwan. It's impossible to build something entirely made in Italy or made in Germany or made in America. It's globally sourced components. And so, you may say, oh, well, my X amp is made in America or Canada or whatever. And the reality is, if you dissected every component, there's a lot of components in there that originate from China.
No,
So
Taiwan
where do you
is
draw the
far
line?
ahead. It's
Where do
way
you draw
far
the
ahead than
line?
any other country. Like that's where
I
they
don't
make CPU dies, GPU dies. Like that's where they're making the big boy stuff, like the NVIDIA AI chips. That's where they're making.
Yeah, I mean the
$1
Borson cabinets.
$1 billion
Borson's cabinets are made in China. So where do you draw the line? Why is Borson a Chinese-made speaker then?
I don't think China. I don't think it's China. I mean, is China can produce an audio piece of audio as good as any country I've seen.
For sure,
Yeah,
even
really
better
can.
for less. You know.
So
Because
here's the
the
challenge
children
out
there,
to
but-
SMSL. SMSL, send the 4 of us your D3 R2R DAC, and we're going to test it and let people know what we really think.
I'll compare against my
your-
Gishelli. I love my Gishelli.
We'll let everybody know what we think about that one. That's a $3,500 R2R DAC that does everything.
It's baller. People are saying it's baller. It has every connection you want. You know, it even has like a preamp built into it.
I've never even used an I2S connection ever a single time in my whole life.
Neither have I.
Have you guys ever used it before?
Nope.
No.
I don't even know what you need to.
Just kind of like stare at it in the back of the the back of the chassis. But if you have another component that uses that, it could come in handy.
Yeah, I guess if you got you would need it for. I guess you'd have if you have a streamer. So I guess I think my HiFi Rose has a I2S out, so I could take the HiFi Rose and run it into this DAC over I2S.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you if it would sound better, but I just don't know.
I don't know. I have literally never ever plugged one up before.
I love my XLR.
Yeah. It's like an AES connection.
Yeah, I never use AES either.
Yeah,
I literally use USB and coax and optical.
I use optical and XLRs. That's it.
Yeah, XLR is after your analog at that point. I prefer XLR as well as my low level transport, just because I feel snobby with it. I'm like, yes, I have XLR cables. They're so nice.
I like them thick.
It's balanced. It's not single-ended. All right, we are 1 minute out from our hour being up. So
we had a lot of fun today, man. You guys are active. Our followers are really active.
Hey Ray, don't be mad at me, man. I have strong feelings on power.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all.
I love it.
Hey, I'm not even going to talk about my point of view on power cables. I'm not even going to open up that can of worms. But let's go ahead and close it out. Here's one of my my members, Rich. Do they make a power conditioner surge suppressor for the entire house, just like they have a whole house surge protector?
Well, they do. Like
$600.
The one I'm getting, because I live out on the water, so we're getting a Taurus isolation transformer that has surge protection for the whole house. But I mean that, or for the whole room. That's like $12,000.
Yeah, the Taurus stuff is nice.
Taurus stuff is really nice.
Howard, I'm with you. If I could afford some Taurus stuff and throw it in here, I would do it just for giggles, because I think that would really make my theater better. Ray, go ahead.
Here's my last final hot take on the power conditioner thing. All right, I made a video a very long time ago. I was talking about the safety and qualifications of audiophile components that sell these power products, and a lot of them have absolutely no certification at all. Now, the question for you is, do you trust that these are made highly enough that they're not a fire hazard, or would you like to see that independent certification? Because there are some companies out there that do the independent certification, ensure that everything's up to code and standard, and will probably not burn down your house. But there are a lot of smaller audiophile companies that are selling these power products that do absolutely no certification, no safety testing, at least not published safety testing that you can independently verify. Do you trust it? And would you pay thousands of dollars for something that has absolutely no independent safety certification?
I want my stuff UL listed.
Don't talk about my Inui no more.
Well, UL listing is not cheap, So for some of these lower priced products, if you want a UL listing on there, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna pay for it.
I'm happy to pay. I would want that. And then what's the RHOS stuff? Is that another? That's some kind of certification, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's more about like the components, like not having lead and stuff like that in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But UL, cool. ETL, CSA, because a lot of these brands, what they'll do is they'll put the CE label on it, which is required for them to sell in Europe, or they'll put the I think it's RSE to sell in Japan and China. But those certifications are not independent; they're self-certifying. So it's kind of like the Boeing of audio components.
Look,
where,
man,
you know,
just
they're self-certifying that. That's
just
not
don't
independently tested.
Just don't get one of those Inui battery chargers, man.
No, bro.
Oh, that thing will burn your house down.
Get the Inui, bro. It hasn't blown up yet. All right. It hasn't
Yeah,
catch on fire.
yeah.
Dude, mine was on its way.
Big.
Mine caught fire in the UPS truck on the way over, man.
You're lying, bro. You're lying.
The whole UPS truck was on fire in front of his house, and they're like, "Oh, I'm glad it didn't make it here."
No, the
Almost.
guy said to me, the driver said, "You didn't buy an Inui battery, did you?"
Oh,
These guys,
hey,
man.
when I checked into that
We've been
international
fighting for
flight,
this
they
for a
were
whole
like,
week now.
they
For a
were
whole
like,
ass
"Do you have
week.
a Nui battery in your bag?" And I'm like, "No, but I have other batteries." They're like, other batteries are okay. It's just this one.
Yeah, man.
It's the only one. All right.
Maybe I'll have my Inui.
So we basically need to come up with another. We're gonna have another guest because we've had a couple of. We had Estelan recently. That one was fantastic.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
learned a
we
we
lot
can
can
get
about
the
Billy
guys
Ray.
at QLN, Vinny Rossi. We have a bunch of connections that we can
Yeah,
get it going.
we're gonna
you know?
get somebody probably for the end of this
May.
month for our
Yeah.
next guest.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Sounds good.
we'll do our best to have guests, but otherwise we'll be here again next Sunday, and we will be chit chatting, and we'll make it spicy. We'll come up with another divisive topic that we can bring
Let's go.
multiple points of
We
view
can get
about.
Ray and Howard fighting.
Yeah, man.
That's right. That's
I
right.
love you, Ray. I do, man.
I'm gonna.
No,
we'll
wow.
talk about digital cables next week. Maybe USB cables.
no. USB cables.
That's always a real hard one. All right, folks. Thanks for joining. Remember, Base Therapy, The Listening Chair, HiFi Turtle, and Giles McCoy. And in
That's the
56 minutes, if you want to watch a Hisense TV be unboxed, come on over to my channel for the live unboxing. The box has got a big old gash in it, so this TV might be completely wrecked. We won't know until we do it live and see what happens. All right, folks. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Take care.
See ya.
Later, everyone.